And welcome back, everyone, to the Bitcoin Business Bureau. As always, I'm your host, Litecoin Leader. Hi, subscribers, and welcome to yet another coin for ALTCOINopoly. We're talking DeFi again today. We're talking about oracles, and we're going to talk about a microcap, which means it's a coin that's pretty darn small, but it's got a lot of upside. And the DeFi sector, I think, is going to have a lot of growth. This is probably a coin you may never have heard of. So stay tuned and find out what it is and what it's all about. Just a quick reminder that nothing in this video is considered financial advice. I am not your financial advisor. This is not financial advice. Seek out your own advice and do your own diligence, do your own research. Starting as always with a blank board for ALTCOINopoly, looking at the entire board, we're talking today once again about Zone 2, which is the left side of the board. That's right here, Zone 2, which is also known as the DeFi and finance sector. And we're going to be looking at a coin right in the middle of the board that is talking about, it's another Oracle coin, and it's a lesser known coin. We're to dive into why this coin deserves a space on the board and all the different interesting aspects of this particular project. But it is another Oracle, and this coin happens to be a coin called DAS. So DAS is the coin for today. This is where it goes on the board. It's right past the middle. It's a big player in DeFi and finance. It's one of the top 10 oracles that are out there. But DAS has some special characteristics we want to delve into and see why it deserves a space in our DeFi finance sector of ALTCOINopoly. So digging into yet another Oracle project, there's one called DAS Network. Now, the DAS network is small. It is even smaller than the coin that I recently covered for subscribers. It's also an Oracle coin, which was Zap. Zap is roughly $10 million market cap. DAS is half that size at only $5 million market cap. But that doesn't mean that DAS doesn't have things going for it. So DAS is another decentralized Oracle. And when DeFi starts to really gain momentum and move forward, I think a lot of these oracles are going to see an upswell in both value and use case. So speaking of use cases, the DAS network outlines 6 of their potential use cases on their main page, describes what oracles do. But if you go down to the use cases, they can do insurance payouts that are automatic, that from the decentralization. So that can be a use case because it can just watch what happens and then it automatically gets paid based on certain criteria in the smart contract. It can work with stable coins and crypto derivatives. Derivatives are really that's most people in the financial sector don't like that, but it's going to happen. There's going to be derivatives that are out there, and oracles will be helping with that. It'll help with lending. It'll help with cross-chain decentralized exchanges. Also, other opportunities in casinos, online gamings, and computation marketplaces. So they've outlined several of their use cases that are out there that DAS is going to be involved in. So, as usual, I dug into a lot of YouTube to try to find more about the DAS network, but I'll talk about other oracles here and how I found that information as well. So, some things I do is I watch a lot of these YouTube videos, pull information out of them, and that leads me to other articles or further reading. So, I'm pulling all that information here for subscribers to save you guys time and to show you, I'm showing my work. I'm showing where I came up with this information. So, BitBoy is a well-known YouTuber. He went through a nice video here. So BitBoy talks about both DAS and Zap in this particular video, so I referenced them in both of my videos on both Oracle coins. So digging further to find more information about DAS, which was a challenge because DAS is so far out of the top 100. It's not even the top 1,000. But I dug it and found a few different videos. Elliott Trades Crypto is a very good analyst. He does a lot of altcoins in finding microcaps and smaller cap coins. He's talked about many oracles as well, and it's a great video that he covers when everybody talks about Chainlink and everybody talks about what's available for that oracle. There are other oracles in play, and this led me to there's a couple more videos I'll highlight briefly, and I'll just talk about what I learned from all of them. Mike D. Crypto talked about DAS a little bit, and so did Tendy Shop, and again, Elliott Trades. So I dug through all this, and the reason I landed on this one was that in this video, Elliott was able to show that if you go to CoinGecko and you pull up Chainlink, there is a button right here that says Oracle. So they've categorized all the coins that they deem as oracles. So clicking on that will open up this page and will show you all the different oracles in the marketplace by their market cap. So clearly Chainlink is way out ahead at an $8 billion market cap. Then the number 2 in my mind is Band, and that's way below. I actually like that project. I was going to possibly include that as well. Band runs on, I believe it's on the Cosmos or Atom blockchain. So it's to me, that's the number 2 oracle that's out there. There's a lot of upside for that one as well. There's API 3, Teller, Dia, Nest Protocol, on and on. But if you dig, you have to dig much further down to find some of these other ones. There's about 30 of them. There is Zap, which I mentioned earlier, coin number 819, and there's DOS, 2 steps below, half the size of Zap. So I thought it was a very interesting tool to be able to find the categories that CoinGecko provides. I would certainly be, as you look at different coins in CoinGecko, I would look for tags like that to see what they classify. So if you're looking for the next link, here's a list of potential next links. So that sort of thing. So if you're looking for the next, I don't know, Cardano, you could go to Cardano, click on that, and see what buttons are available for there, and see what that leads you to. That's sort of how you could do some of your own research. Now, some of the articles I picked up from watching these videos, CryptoSlate had another list of the top 10 oracles, and you could see it's the same sort of list. They have Band as their number 2, which I agree with that listing. And then you also see that what blockchains they're on. You can see everybody's on the Ethereum blockchain. That's the difference that I wanted to find oracles that weren't necessarily on the Ethereum blockchain. I don't think the Band is on the Ethereum blockchain, but it could be. Maybe I'm confusing it with Kava. I'm going to go check that. Hold on one second. Okay, I did go back and check, and yes, I was correct. Band is not on the Ethereum blockchain. It started there, but now it's on the Cosmos or Atom blockchain. So sometimes you need to double check the research because sometimes things get outdated on these pages. So I'll mention that Band and Kava, 2 projects I really like on the Atom. I'll probably mention that when I do Atom later. I'm sure Atom will be on my board. No surprise there. It's one of my first videos. But to wrap up the news on DOS, I want to go over DOS 2.0. So DOS 2.0, here I'll include this article as well, but this was introduced in December of last year. And one of the things that they outlined that was really significant here was that they are integrating and supporting both Polkadot and Binance Smart Chain. So originally, DOS was an Ethereum coin. It was an ERC token. But now they're migrating. First, they migrated to the Binance Smart Chain, and they're going to integrate with Polkadot. Their roadmap takes DOS into both these chains, which gets them, it allows them to be in all 3 of the major DeFi networks: Polkadot, Binance Smart Chain, and Ethereum. That is significant. So for DOS to work with all 3 chains and connect all 3, that to me shows a lot of potential for this project going forward. So I'm going to conclude the news section with just showing you one more time that DOS is it's a 4-cent coin. It's very cheap. The market cap is only $5 million, and the coin is number 1082, well outside the top 100, well outside the top 500. So we're looking at a micro cap with a lot of potential here, being an oracle with some upside by working with those 3 major networks. Now let's take a look at the charts. So looking at the price action for DOS, we start with just the price, and it's again 4 cents. Scrolling down here on CoinGecko, we see that it's coin number 1080. The all-time high was just over 38 cents, and the all-time low was well below a penny. The charting on this coin like this, it's a little difficult to find, but you can see that it's only been around for roughly a year. That's been out there, that's been tracked. If I go max here, it might go a little bit further. It does go back to 2019. So it really started to pop up. So a lot of the oracles started to pop up in the 3rd quarter of 2020 when things got really big for oracles like Link and Band, and all the other oracles followed suit. So what happened is then it just trailed off in the last year, particularly the last 6 months. So you could see how it dropped off significantly. So the one good chart that I found was on TradingView. And this is the price against the US dollar. So let me scroll up. So here's the price against the US dollar. It just shows in the last year the price has basically bottomed out. I drew a line at the bottom price, which is about 33 cents. I'm sorry, 3.3 cents. The price now is somewhere around 4 cents. So there's not a lot of room left for this to go down. So the potential upside is pretty high here, considering the all-time high was almost 40 cents. So this coin, while I can't guarantee a 10x, when you're looking at a micro cap with a lot going for it, a coin that's only got a $5 million market cap, getting to 50 to 500 million is certainly attainable for a 10 to 100x. Can't be guaranteed, of course, but just going back to its all-time high would give this coin a 10x. And as soon as Link and Ban and a few others in the DeFi sector start to ramp up again, I expect all the oracles to do well, especially with DOS getting onto the three major chains of Polkadot, Binance Smart Chain, and now already on Ethereum. So for me, it goes beyond the charts. The chart just tells me that we're at a minimum. The chart doesn't tell me too much other information, just says the upside is way higher than the downside risk. So the market asymmetry, not financial advice, but market asymmetry is strongly looking towards a buy signal versus a hold or sell. I would be looking to acquire DOS based on this chart. So there's the coin for today. It is a coin called DOS. It is an oracle coin. It is one of the smaller oracle coins, but it's got a lot of major upside because it's got so many good partnerships going forward. It's already on the Ethereum blockchain. It's also working with both Polkadot and Binance. So those two major projects, those are probably the three top blockchains that are out there in the space of DeFi. So I think that DOS is going to show a lot of room for growth going forward, but I also would hedge my bets a little bit. So that leads me into the coin rating for this particular coin. Once again, turning back to the ALTCOINopoly board, we're looking at Zone 2 today, which is the left side of the board, which is the DeFi finance sector. So these coins in here are all part of the big section of crypto that's growing immensely, which is the DeFi sector, the finance sector. These are projects that are either closely tied to DeFi, or they're major players and tools in the DeFi space, or they're projects closely linked to DeFi. So one of those coins today is DOS Network. So DOS Network, this is where it goes on the board. This is one of several Oracle coins that I'm looking at. I'll let you find the other videos that are out there, but I will mention one which I recently did, which was Zap. So Zap and DOS for me are comparable because DOS is half the size to Zap. DOS is just outside the top 1,000 coins. Zap is just inside the top 1,000 coins. But DOS is half the size of Zap. DOS has some partnerships, but they're not as prestigious. I think that, and the reason I want to compare DOS to Zap is because of the ratings. So I think that both these coins are potential. They have very high potential, but they're not necessarily something I would put a bunch of my portfolio into. Not financial advice, but if I'm going to rate it, I'm going to use all that information to come up with a rating. And quantifying my total opinion into a number between 1 and 5 is not easy. So, looking at the coin rating system, again, it goes to a scale from 1 to 5, for weakest of 1, highest rating of 5. I recently gave Zap a score of 1.5. So, and I'm just talking only to my subscribers, so I'm more than happy to share that. So I've got Zap at 1.5. So what am I going to give for DOS? Well, DOS is a smaller project. It's not quite as prestigious. Yes, it is going to be on the Binance Smart Chain, or already is, and they're partnering with Polkadot. But I think that Zap has a little bit more going for it. So I'm going to hedge a little more with DOS and only give it a 1. That doesn't mean I don't like the project. Again, only 35 coins get spaces on my board. So even a 1 is worth consideration for holding on to and keeping for the next iteration of your portfolio when you look at it again to say, should DOS make the cut in my DeFi space? Do I want to keep it or not? I think it's a worthy project. I think that being a micro cap and being able to acquire a larger portion of the entire portfolio of coins that are out there gives more upside. So a coin that's only $5 million in market cap could become 50 million rather easily. Could become 500 million rather easily because only the coins in the top 100 are a billion and higher. So there's a lot of room for growth for DOS, so it's definitely worth consideration. But for right now, I'm going to leave it at a minimal rating of just 1 out of 5. Okay, yes, I was rather conservative with DOS. I have to admit that. But I think you could probably twist my arm and raise the coin. I'm probably going to have to go back and look at all my coin ratings later on and just kind of balance them out because I'm doing them independently. But I think that's probably another video that I'll do for subscribers and also maybe a free one as well, just to balance out these coins. Because sometimes I call something a 3, then I compare it to another 3, and maybe it should be a 3.5. But today, right now, because of where DOS is at, because it's such a, I don't want to call it a gamble, but it's so far outside the top 100 or even the top 500 that it could fizzle out. It really could. So I wouldn't go all in on it. I wouldn't go a major portion of my portfolio of it whatsoever. Not financial advice, of course. But I do like it. I think it's got enough going forward that it warrants a space on the board and warrants a lot of further investigation to keep an eye on it going forward to see maybe it can 5, 10x pretty easily yet. It's hard to find a good project below $20 million market cap that have upside. And now we found 2 oracles for subscribers. There's plenty of information for both these videos. Thank you for joining me on these, and I appreciate you subscribing as well. So with all that said, I'm going to close the drawer on the bureau for today, and I'll see you next time.